For you, and how comfortable are you with that now?
It's huge, and I think that's gonna get better as I go on and keep playing basketball. But as a point guard, that's something you kind of have to develop. And he's always said it, like, we always have to get outside of ourselves, and that's something, especially for myself, I have to be able to do. And that's what this team needs me to do. We're younger, and it's gonna be even more so. It's gonna be even more important next year.
Was there a point, Crystal, where all of a sudden you thought this was your team? I mean, a lot of people look at it as Fee and as Lou's team because they're seniors, but I see you taking more and more command out there. Was it over the summer you just knew you had to take this team?
Not so much in the summer, but once we all got together, because Lou wasn't playing, obviously she was hurt, and once we all got together and saw how our team makeup was going to be, it's just something that the point guard kind of has to step into that role naturally and see what we can make of it. But Coach always pulls me to the side day after day, every other day, not day after day, and says that it needs to happen, come from me, and the seniors do a great job of helping me out with that.
Is it becoming second nature to you? Because I see you pulling guys aside all the time or barking out orders even to Lou. I mean, is it just becoming second nature?
Sometimes it's, other times it's harder than it looks, but again, it's something I have to work on because naturally it's not what I want to do. I feel like sometimes it should be common sense, but they say common sense isn't so common, so you have to tell people what to do and get them to do it.
Is that something that didn't develop in high school just because you could be the star player or the dominant player and you didn't always have to tell others what to do?
I'm not sure if it was that per se, but the people that I played with in high school, we had played together since we were babies, really, so it was kind of like we already knew what we wanted to do.
And here, are you starting to enjoy this, or is it still kind of a little weird to you to be bossing people around? Or
no, I would give that word to the season so far. It's been fun. It's definitely been a struggle. It's been different from my first two, but it's definitely been fun to step into this different role.
With USF dealing with a bunch of injuries, does that change the focus of this team heading into that game?
No, I don't think so. Coach kind of touched on that before practice, but especially after taking that loss, we can't really worry about what's going to happen, what the other team does, who they have, who they don't have. We have to focus on what we're going to do each time out on the floor.
You talked a little bit about the difference between when you guys play really, really great and when you don't play as well, and he wants to narrow that gap. How do you guys go about doing that?
He kind of touched on it after our game against Cincinnati. He was like, there was 90% of good things that we did, and so that 10%, each time we come in and practice, we have to chip away at that. And sometimes it's going to be a step forward, 2 steps back, but it can't just be consecutive days where we're taking steps back.
Playing a full court or pressing style, a trapping style, doesn't seem to fit your team just because of how few your numbers are. But is it an important part of this team going forward anyway, just because you have to be able to affect the way the pace is played?
Definitely, because we want to be able to get out and turn those turnovers into points, and I think that's when we're most effective in transition. And if we're speeding the other team up, that's where we can get those the most. So, and Coach said he wants to play like that. He said that before we played Cincinnati. If we can get that down and be consistent with it and build up the stamina to do it, we should be able to do it every game.
Is there a hesitancy to do that, though, when your numbers are so short and, fouls become that much more vital, being in shape becomes that much more vital?
It definitely does, but he said he wants to get more people in the game, and that's the way we can do that. If somebody gets tired pressing like that, we can run somebody in, but everybody has to be on the same page about it.
You see her coming along.
She's huge. She does give us another post presence and a bigger body to go get those rebounds, go body up against a bigger post player that we may not could do with Fisa or Meg. So what she does every day, she comes in and she bodies them up, gets them ready, and I think if they return that, they're only making her better too.
Can she provide an energy too? I mean, she was on the floor the other night against Cincinnati, and she just seems to bang a lot and just provide a different type of energy.
Yeah, she does. She gets on the floor. She'll go get that hustle. She'll go make the hustle play. She'll go get the extra rebound out of her area, and that's not something we have a lot of this year. And so when she does come in, we know we can get count on that from her.
Where do you sense that unit is as a whole, confidence-wise? I'm sure it can be tough. Not getting consistent minutes to stay confident.
Who is it?
The bench as a whole.
Oh, I think it's the confidence thing, but they come in and do the same thing that we do every day. So it's really coming into the game and knowing that they're out there with us, they've done it before, and relying on that and not really just worry about if they're going to make a mistake or not. Because if they just look at us, we make enough of them. And so when they come in, they should just play worry-free.
Yeah. You know, you guys don't get too many challenges in the league. So that said, South Florida, that was a top 20 team coming in. Now they've kind of seen their season crash. And,
Yeah, I just feel bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, for a team that's looking for challenges sometimes, how tough is that just to see?
It's kind of like we have to put the pressure on ourselves, and Coach is saying if we're not putting pressure on ourselves, we're just running around out here. And so we have to make everything count, and he takes it back to practice when we're doing shooting drills and nobody's guarding us. If we're not making like 8 for 10, then just bad shooter and just out here playing basketball, and we need to put the pressure on ourselves because we're going to have to do it when we get into tournament play.
Coach said after the Cincinnati game that everything positive that you guys always seems to have a negative attached to it, that you guys aren't always positive. Is that the 10% or 8% or 5% that you're trying to chip away at, that there's always something negative there behind the good stuff?
It definitely is, and he said like most of the time when we're making shots, it's kind of covered up, so we don't necessarily see it, but when we go watch film, it's right there in front of our faces. So if we can attack it while we're in practice, and the games will be less than 10%, it'll be 5%, and then it'll continue as we go on.
And you believe that you guys can chip away at that there is a lot of good left in this team?
I definitely do, because there are days where we'll have 8 people on board and two back, and then the other day it'll be a different 6 and there's 4 people. So as long as we can get everybody on the same page, and we haven't necessarily got that yet, but once we do, I think we're good.